Hi, this is Caroleena. Our challenge this week is learning to dance with our hips while hooping. So we think of our hips as hip hooping, actually hooping on our hips, which is also very cool. But we can have the hoop anywhere else on our body, or on our hands, or off body, or holding it, and dance with our hips. Now, I know that a lot of people are not comfortable moving their hips, and some people don't even know how to move their hips. So I want to break down a way that you can loosen up your hips and really explore your range of motion in a lot of different places. It starts with how you build your posture. So posture is built from the ground up. You place your feet at hip distance apart, starting with the heels, then the balls of the feet, then the toes. Then you grip the ground, let your knees soften, tighten your abdomen, and then tighten your bum. And it pulls you into this little pelvic tilt. Then that's the whole bottom half of your posture. So to set the top half of your posture, raise your heart, raise your chin, roll your shoulders back and down so that they sit low on the back instead of leaning forward and pulling you over. That's the top half. So when you have your top half set like this, you can lift from your heart, your chin, the top of your head, and it lifts the whole top of your body off of the bottom part of your body, which allows the bottom part of your body to move freely. So if your shoulders are squished down like this, your rib cage goes from right here's my hanging ribs with my shoulders back and down. Here's where they are when they're forward. So they're now almost on my pelvic bone, and they're limiting what I can do here in this middle part. So if I can roll them back and down and lift up, and then lift up through my heart, keeping my squishy part of my knees, then I can make the bottom part of my body hang from the top part like a ringer on a bell. Be quiet, lady. So if my hips were the ringer of a bell, they could ring side to side, front and back, catty-cornered. But luckily our hips, not being a ringer of a bell, can also go up, and they can go down. So what I would recommend is practice lifting up the top part of the body, freeing the bottom part of the body to dangle, and then first feel how far can you push it to the right, slide back to the center, how far can you push it to the left, slide back to the center, then move between those, practicing how far you can go each time. And notice that you can get more out of your heels. Our knees are slightly bent and squishy so they can straighten. So if I want to get farther, if I'm to the end, or I think I'm to the end, and I straighten my leg, it takes it out even farther. So practice touch and touch and touch, and then make your legs straighter and straighter and straighter. And then to play with that a little bit more, practice putting more bend in your knees and then straightening your legs. There. Then practice, so that's one way you can move. And you can do this to one side repeatedly by straightening that leg, or you can alternate between them. Another way that you can practice with your hips is to practice lifting it, lifting it, lifting it, lifting it. So I'm lifting it up, I'm bending my knee, lifting my hip up as high as it will go, and then straightening my other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I had a hoop in my hand and I wanted to highlight that, I might highlight it like this. Boom, 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 boom. That puts the hip right in the middle of my hoop, and you can really see it. So those are lines to the side with your hips, and repeatedly pushing to the side. You can also push, slide back, and straighten. Push, slide back, and straighten. And what I'm doing is a half circle, a push, a half circle, and a straighten. Or I can do, I'm sorry, really that's a quarter circle. I can do a whole circle and straighten. So push, boom, straighten. Push, boom, straighten. You can also do these circles to the front. Push, boom, straighten. Push, boom, straighten. You can also just take very small, push to the right, push to the left, push to the right, push to the left, push, 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 push. straightening right knee, straightening left knee, straightening right knee, straightening left knee, until you make it faster and faster. And this time we're not going to our full extension. We're just moving just a little bit, hanging from the ringer from the bell. So we can do this back and forth in a circle. I'm just doing one circle now. I'm going from the right, and now I'm going from the left. So all of these moves can be done with the hoop, either stationary behind you, stationary below you, moving with you, and then of course, lots of ways that it can be moving on you too. But first you just got to give yourself permission to really move your hips and feel how far you can get them before you bring them back. Make it about how you feel in your stretch rather than how you feel in your mind. A lot of reasons that I think people can't relax and release to do hip stuff is because they're so self-conscious and they're nervous. And you see what happened to my body when I went self-conscious. You become tight, and it becomes very hard to move when you're tight. So relax, out and touch, out and touch, out and touch, out and touch. Boom, boom, boom. And also, pay attention to what you do with your hands. So you can put it behind your head. You can put it on your hip. You can push the other hip. So, tons of ways that we can use our hands also that are very pretty and that add a lot to our dance. So, add some hips to your dancing as you're adding some dance to your hooping. It's a lot of fun to do, shaking your booty. There's a reason there's songs about it. And it will really add a degree of polish and dance to your hoop and make it less about going from trick to trick to trick to more about I'm dancing, and then you throw in some tricks and that makes them even cooler, but it's about the dance. So, I hope that helps you a little bit.